All right, so have you been trying to figure out like how long is this going to take? How long is it going to last? How long is my spouse going to be hating on me after the infidelity? Maybe it's been months. Some cases it's been years. Why can't my spouse stand me? I mean, I said I was sorry. I, you told me you forgave me. I thought we could move on, but it's still clear to me that you hate me. Hey, that is the scenario for a lot of people. Hey, welcome to the video. I'm Rod Hairston. I am a marriage coach, executive marriage coach, and relationship expert. I help high performers really have a great marriage. How do I do that? I help them by helping them reduce relationship stress, improve or increase their productivity, and improve their love life. Usually, the people I work with, they don't want to be running across town to another therapist trying to break down the story and all of that. They need a private space where somebody really understands their high performing world. And I work mostly with people in sports, business, and entertainment in the professional realm. These are very top performers, high performing people who have very unique lives. And so it's a world that I enjoy being in and helping people have amazing relationships. And I'm glad you're here because you're probably a top performer in your own world and your own right. Hey, let's talk about this subject. Infidelity is not just for high performers, for big ballers, shot callers, people who are in entertainment, business, or sports, or medicine, or any other field. It is really a pretty common challenge. But the question we're looking at is, why does my spouse still hate me? And it's been some time now. And I think it's a fair question. Here's what people miss. Here's what people miss. Because I get this a lot from people, especially I hear it this way. Well, I stopped doing the stuff. I stopped. Like I'm not doing it anymore. I'm really not doing it. I'm not going out. I'm not sneaking behind my spouse's back. I'm being faithful. I haven't cheated in months or even years. I stopped doing it. And what they don't realize is that not doing what you used to do doesn't fix the pain that came with what was done. I said that way too fast. Did y'all catch that? Not doing what you used to do that caused the pain doesn't mean, I can't even say it again myself, right? But just because you're not doing what you did doesn't mean that what you did didn't cause extraordinary pain that is still lingering in the life of your spouse. Infidelity is extraordinary. It brings about an emotional injury that is really beyond words. I describe it in my work with couples as the emotional tsunami because it levels your world. I mean, it just really it upends it. Like everything is everywhere. You don't know who you are. You don't know what your value is anymore. You can't believe this has happened in the relationship where you trusted someone. And just because your spouse isn't doing it anymore doesn't fix it. Now, not doing what they had been doing is important. It's an important part of the journey, right, to healing. And in my work with couples, these high performing couples, I've discovered and put together really a pathway to healing infidelity. And you got to go down the pathway, but not doing what you had been doing is just the beginning of the pathway. It is not sufficient to heal the emotional injuries that come from the infidelity. Um, Along with this, I'm not doing what I used to do. I've become a better person. Wonderful. Awesome. I'm glad. Your spouse is glad, kind of, that you are a better person. So often in my work with couples, a spouse who's been cheating will find faith in Jesus. And that's my background. That's my faith life. I've been on a journey with Jesus for a long time now. And I celebrate that. But just because you got right with God doesn't mean your spouse ain't still hurting and hating. Because you would think, hey, I was doing that. I got my life right with God. I'm reading the Bible. I'm helping old ladies across the street. I'm being kinder, gentler, all of those things. That's cool. That's important. But your new version of you doesn't fix the hurt version of your spouse. Did I say that slowly enough? The new version of you doesn't help the hurt version of your spouse. And so while you're getting better on your end, your spouse is still hurting. And the longer they hurt, the more they hate your guts. And they love you in some cases. It's complicated. It's complicated, right? They can't stand you. They don't like the sight of you sometimes. And they love you. But you feel the hate. You don't feel the love. And you're like, how long am I going to be under this banner of hate over my life? Like I've stopped what I was doing and I've become a better person. We're going to take a break real quick. I got some more to share with you about this. I want you to check out this free gift that I have just for you. Hey, before we continue with this episode, I want to invite you to make sure you grab the free workshop that I've prepared just for those who stop by this channel. It's called the Happy Marriage Workshop, and it's just for you. The Happy Marriage Workshop is really built around my 6-stage process for helping couples achieve their dream marriage. And I want you to have it for free. This is the same material that I take my multi-millionaire clients through, and they're getting extraordinary breakthroughs. And so I want you to enjoy the workshop. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let's get back to the episode. All right. So we're talking about why your spouse still hates you, even though it's been a while since the infidelity. And we said not doing what you had been doing doesn't fix it. Getting better is great also, but it doesn't fix it. Your spouse may have said, I forgive you, because you asked and you begged and you pleaded like, hey, can you please forgive me? And they probably said, or they may have said, I don't know, maybe your spouse said, I forgive you. I forgive you. But you still feel the hate. You still feel this vitriol, this bitterness. They don't want to really be close to you. They feel awkward around you. Nothing is the same after the infidelity. How is it that your spouse can forgive you and still hate you, still not like you, still not want to be close to you, not really want to be intimate with you? Maybe you're being intimate, but it ain't the same. Something's missing. What's up? What's up? What's going on? Because you said you forgive me. Let me help you understand something. Forgiveness is one thing, and it's a good thing. It's an important thing. In fact, your spouse who experienced the infidelity can't really move forward without forgiving you. So if they forgave you, great. If they are trying to forgive, that's good. Some people take a long time before they can get to a place where they can even say, I forgive you. But here's the thing about forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't fix the emotional pain. Forgiveness doesn't heal. Forgiveness helps the spouse move forward, but it doesn't heal the emotional wounding. Is this making sense? Let me tell you why your spouse is still angry with you and distant with you, untrusting towards you. Like, how long is it going to take my spouse to get over this to move forward? The reason they are still distant and distrustful and sort of snarky with you, like, can you just feel like they don't respect you the same anymore? We're using hate, but like disrespect is another word similar, right? Can you just feel that? Can't you just feel it? What is it all about? I'm gonna break this down to you right now. All right. They're angry and they hate you because you haven't taken responsibility. I'm talking about full, thorough responsibility, not simply for what you did to break their heart, to wound them, to hurt them emotionally by the infidelity. And I'm not saying you're not sincere. I'm not throwing judgment. I'm not throwing no shade. I promise you, right? But you got to understand this. And this, when I'm working with clients, I try to help them understand this because so many don't get it. All of that stuff is cool. It's important. But until you take responsibility to help them heal. Hello, is anybody there? Did you get this? Did you catch that? Until you take responsibility to aid them in their healing process. Notice that the first three things I mentioned, you're not doing what you used to do. You become a better person. Your spouse forgave you. It's all centered on you. And they're over there trying to catch their breath emotionally. They're just trying to navigate the day. They're thinking, I want to keep this marriage because I don't want my kids to not be without their, their other parent. All those reasons, right? They got vows that they're holding on to. There are a lot of reasons. They're like, but I'm gasping for air. And my spouse who committed infidelity is a good person, perhaps, but I am suffering. So here's what I'm trying to help you to see, that there's a very important next step in the process in which you take responsibility to help them heal. And in some of my coursework on helping couples heal from infidelity, I take you through the process. It includes transparency, right? It includes rebuilding trust. It includes learning how to really communicate in a way that connects you. It includes learning how to manage conflict. But at its core is doing the things, primarily being empathic when the person is in pain and hurting, to help them heal and to be patient with them in the process and not demand of them that they hurry up and heal so you don't have to deal with the horrible feeling of what you did. It's time to focus on their healing. And let me just mention this. If you haven't gotten a hold of my Dream Marriage Masterclass, my 6-step process for how to have an amazing dream marriage, where you're not just succeeding publicly, but you're able to build a marriage that succeeds privately. That's what the whole course is about. You should grab that because it's going to help you. It's going to help you. And then we'll continue to work together on some of the particulars about infidelity as its own kind of thing. So I hope that this is helpful. Let me give you some things that you can focus on in the healing process. This will help you. This will help your spouse who is desperate to recover. You got to focus on the self-esteem that was destroyed. Because when infidelity happens, the person who suffers, who's on the bad end of it, the negative end of it, all of their sense of value and worth gets crushed. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not sexy enough. Maybe I couldn't satisfy my spouse in bed. And what did they see in the other person? And how do I compare? All of a sudden, a confident person goes into a broken, what's the lack of confidence? Insecure person. And it's devastating for them. You got to focus on that and help them recover their self-esteem. You got to focus on their emotional safety because they don't know if they can be safe with you anymore. Do their emotions matter to you? So I was working with a couple recently, and uh, she said of her husband, he doesn't care anything about me emotionally. And so the moment I start to talk about how much I'm hurting, he just wants me to shut up and stop talking about it. But I got to get this out. And so I tried to help her husband grasp that you gotta be strong enough to be open to what she's expressing because the infidelity has caused great injury. and there's a need for that person to be able to express themselves and to find with you emotional safety, meaning you're there for them emotionally. The shame that was imposed is extraordinary. What are people thinking of me? Am I a fool? Why did I stay? I feel like an idiot. They just feel so much shame. And you got to give them space to feel that shame and learn how to comfort them when they're feeling ashamed. This is how you focus on the healing process. Let me give you the last one, emotional triggers. Because for those of you who know what infidelity is like, the triggers are extraordinary. Every place that you ever went with your spouse before the infidelity was revealed, right? The thought of that space, driving by that place, the mention of the place, the name of the third party, when that name comes up, are you tracking with me? Right? Anything that reeks of it. If you saw it on the phone, right? A phone can be a trigger. And if you're going to help your spouse heal so they can get beyond the hate, you got to become very, very sensitive to the emotional triggers. Hey, there's so much more that we can talk about, but I wanted to give you some understanding as to why the hatred, this vitriol, seems so prolonged and how to help it dissipate. And it gets helped as you take responsibility, you step in and you declare, I'm going to be a healing agent in my spouse's life because what I broke, I also need to focus on trying to fix. Hey, I'm glad you were here. This is Rod Harrison. I want to remind you of the free workshop that I mentioned earlier called the Happy Marriage Workshop. Make sure you get that. It's my free gift to you. It's a resource that I believe can be very, very helpful to you. This whole topic of why my spouse hates me, still hates me after the infidelity. I want you to know there's hope. I want you to know that you can recover. I want you to know that your spouse can get to a much better place. You can help your spouse heal. Focus on the things that we mentioned in this video and watch things begin to turn around. Hey, I'll see you in the next